Well, looky here. Here's a little tour. Let's have a look. Just got my laptop camera. Sit this on here. So, this is what's going on. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. There's other forms to fill in and that. So at the moment, I'm sort of sat with, you see all that lot. I'm sat with set lists, guitars, old books, and in this beautiful place, Rookie Hole. Let's have a look. Look at a beautiful place, Rookie Hole. I do feel very fortunate, obviously, because it's good to be alive and creative and stuff like that. However, yeah, so I was in a band last year called Nature is Noisy for a few years we were together. But this year, in March time, I'm coming out as a solo artist. I'm coming out. And it's now up to like 50 plus songs that I'm working up. Mainly originals and then a few nice little tunes that I love from other artists like Ian Jury, Dave Brubeck, Chaz and Dave, Link Ray. There's a few. So yeah, I'm piecing together a set. So I mentioned on my last little video that I've been working with my injury is feeling increasingly better. He says cautiously. I've played for a couple of hours this morning, which is the longest I've played for a couple of weeks. And I just have to, me and my brother talk quite a lot about this, just about really looking after ourselves. And I'm working my way up to getting back to turning the electrics on, and getting the pedals out and loop stationing. But, just got to start from literally just get the fingers moving and get the chops, that kind of thing. This morning, we're starting to. I could be a catalyst that sparks a revolution. I could be an inmate, a long-term issues. That one. What a waste. Tunes and tunes, they're flying out of resurrecting from old albums, new tunes. The Nature is Noisy set. Yeah, all kinds, lots of music. So it's a lot waking up. It's early in the year. It's only January the 14th. Yeah, but I feel good about it. Feel good. So I'm just kind of letting people know. I think I just hit Tim up. I didn't hit Tim. I just hit him up at Sidebarn to ask for a gig in March. Would potentially be 4 gigs in March, which would be a good something to aim for. Get the solo show on the road and see how we go from there. And then, yeah, I won't go off too much on it. I'm just trying to give notice that I'm doing my thing, which is what I love to do. Spent a lot of my life doing this thing. And I've got lots of songs to share with people, and I'm looking forward to getting out live in March. Keep an eye on my socials at YouTube, namely YouTube, Spotify and Instagram for my releases, of which I have several. Jumping through hoops with my distributor TuneCore, because it's a learning curve for me to get everything labelled and marked correctly, and there's ISRC numbers and UPC numbers and and you have to identify songs exactly, and stuff that I record and put out as Nature is Noisy, and stuff that I've written I'm putting out on my Cameron's got channel, and things get a bit complicated and the wires get crossed, and I got, well, a bit furious last night because things hadn't come out on time. My mistakes probably, and also just really getting the clarity of language through, because I'm really just attempting to collate stuff that I've written, have them all in the same places, i.e. Spotify, YouTube and Instagram. Given that Nature is Noisy are not a band anymore, but we have got back catalogue which could come out. It's complicated when one is doing it on one's own, and we're having to wear like many hats. It's a thorough learning curve, you know, right across the board. Making videos, learning all the software to make the videos. Yeah, learning all the songs, recording all the songs, mixing all the songs, putting all the songs out. It's hard not to have a little bit of expectation about a little bit of feedback from people going, oh, nice one, mate. You know, liked your song. You know, which would be great. It always feels great. You know, I do appreciate that. Of course, we all, being human, love to feel loved and wanted and appreciated. Essentially, that's only part of the reason why we do it. It's not the reason, and it's not the reason. Ultimately, again, as Duncan and myself, Dunk's my brother, like to chat about the gift of being a musician is getting to do it, and it truly is a gift. I'm at home, sat in my dressing gown with my guitar on my lap, and lots of songs to learn. However, it does take lots of time, application, dedication, repetition, exercise. You have to get the timing right, you know, try and pacing the learning process, especially when working with injuries, and just gradually getting fit again, getting well again, working like an athlete, working oneself back up to speed. Still get tweaks and twinges, and yeah, no, this is part of having a human body and lifetime of knocks and bumps and scrapes and bruises and engaging with life, you know. But these, as a guitarist, obviously are the tools of my trade. And having, as I've already mentioned before, come off my bike 3 times in the last year and mashed up this wrist, and I've got an old injury, because I used to be football mad, and I fell on the thumb like that over someone's shoulder, and that's sort of come back to test me. I was going to say come back to haunt me, but it has, but it's a real challenge, because it seizes up and it hurts, and the bones aren't the shape they used to be and all that. However, you know, it's something to work with. I mean, Django Reinhardt was in a fire and fused some fingers together and played with 3 fingers. So there's plenty of inspiration out there so we're not all just, I'm not just feeling sorry for myself, and you know. And as I resurrect a few songs, old songs I've written that are still, see, I feel songs are like when they get recorded, for example, just being able to go and listen to Bob Marley songs, you know. And so the jewel is those recordings, they're like a crystal that you can just transport from one place to another, you know, like this beautiful amethyst, you know. Just and a record is a bit like a crystal, I think. And so I can listen to a Bob Marley record and it's totally present with me now, even though it was recorded in the 70s. So resurrecting a few old tunes is real treat. And the old memories resurface. And I've got one song called "Love Is Enough," which I wrote when Indy, my eldest son, was like 2-3 years old, and he used to come and put his hand on my guitar and say, "No, Dad, no, guitar." And then I wrote a lyric, for instance, like, "Your fingerprints, they cover my mirror," you know. And so I'm struggling with being a father. Well, I was struggling with being a father anyway, but I did a pretty good job. But when a child's demanding your attention and you're trying to do your thing, it's that old parental thing. So I wrote a song about that anyway. So I've just been resurrecting that alongside other, when I first busted this hand up and I was in plaster, and I could hold a chord, but and then I taught myself to pick with all 5 fingers. What was it? Trying to get a bit of a swing in there. What gifts are these? Remind me. Recognition of passion, yeah. Forever balancing eternal returning. Over the hill and far away. How far is away? Is it home there? All alone at one. Didn't quite remember all the lyrics here, but anyway, that's an extract and an example of what gifts that I'm resurrecting. I mean, it was conceptually simple, but it came from a need to heal space and want to keep on playing, but obviously when your arm's in plaster it's slightly limited. 13 minutes, wow, alright. Cam's rambles. Yeah, what are these about? These are about a little insight into the world of a musician, like one of, you know, millions of us, thankfully. But being a songwriter, a guitar player, a singer, recorder, mixer, filmmaker, et al. You know, that's the picture of it, really. It's a very sensitive space to be in. I couldn't be in a room with other people now doing this, you know, albeit in the old story, as a young hippie in his 20s, I used to live in London and I went to, I think it was in Tooting, and I saw that there was like an Indian music class, and I just went in there with my guitar one day, and it's a big circle of mainly, I think, Indian folks, people, and there was a master musician teacher playing the harmonium, like the sort of pump piano, play piano and pump it. and people with sitars, tablas, harmoniums, singing, all sorts. And what would happen, I was welcomed, sit down, become part of the circle, and then the master would invite people in individually and teach them a phrase, a melodic phrase. And then they'd go back to their place and they'd play that. And everybody, it seemed to me, in my ears then, was playing something different in the circle. So it's like cacophonous. Cacophonous harmony, you know, is... and I went a few times, and there was like, God, like it was this big white hippie with his red beard, long hair, coming in. But I did that. You know, teachers want to really focus in amongst all the noise. However, the sort of daily practice of being a musician, if you're not in a band and practicing with your mates in the band, is it's really nice to have. It's taken a while, you know, to create a space where I can actually have to fend off a lot of opposition. It seems it might just be a figment of my imagination, but it's or at the very least what I've created for me to learn from. In a society maybe that doesn't fully support an independent musical artist, you know, that isn't earning, you know, enough money to be able to do it full time. So I'm on universal credit, having, you know, been self-employed loads of different times as a musician, and most recently, and you know, I'm 59 now, but when I go down the office, I still. This is what I do. I'm obviously still really active with it. The music industry, the industry that us independent artists are part of, in terms of places to play gigs. It's fascinating. Things have changed so much, you know. They're having to learn how to put music out onto digital platforms, but the gig world is still massively in recovery. So many venues and pubs and that closed, which is where we plough our wares, you know, to go out and play gigs. So the imploring of people to stay present enough to come and witness it, music live, gather together, and people, where are you going to meet people? Do you want to meet people online, or do you want to meet people in real life? You know, online is fun in terms of I can speak to people. I can speak to my brother up in Yorkshire. I can speak to my mate in Weston-super-Mare. It's great sharing. It's great. But if we let that stop us, and everyone's just Netflix and chilling all the time and eating Doritos and hummus and spicy salsa sauces, oh yeah, I mean, that's fun too. But if we stop going out and communing, then we're going to lose those threads. That practice of that gets lost. And really, as fascinating as all AI world is, it's not really as tactile. And when things are like overly engineered so that everything's just perfect, obviously with a few glitches, it soon loses its luster. You're going to keep this under 20 minutes. We're in 19 minutes now. So, yeah, the daily grind, or the daily flow. What was my new affirmation today? Got a new affirmation. Let go, and let God. I follow the path of least resistance, and I go with the flow. I'll leave it there. Have a lovely day. God bless.